Hello everyone. Today we're interviewing the one and only Davinci Jeremie. A lot of you may know about him, a lot of you may not. But Davinci, thank you for joining us. For those who don't know, Davinci is one of the earliest Bitcoin adopters. And in a YouTube video from 2013, you told your followers to buy $1 worth of Bitcoin. And the video went viral apparently. And now with Bitcoin being worth just over, I think, $46,000, right? Or 47. I think this was easily one of the best and smartest long-term investments that you and probably your followers made. So again, welcome Davinci, and without further ado, let's dive into the questions. So tell us how it all began. When did you first hear about cryptocurrencies in general as a thing?
Well, that video that made me famous and went viral, it's not when Bitcoin was priced at $1. It was actually because I was getting a little upset with my viewers who were like hating on me for talking about Bitcoin. They didn't even want to put $1 worth of money into Bitcoin. And I'm like, just put in $1. It's like, you can afford that, right? You've spent money on lotteries and stuff like that. It's nothing. And I actually got into Bitcoin actually, because it was the only cryptocurrency at the time. Back in March of 2011 is when I first started buying. I have a recording. I found an email where I purchased my first Bitcoin at 67 cents.
That is insane. You know, I saw this post on YouTube in your community, and I'm opening it right here because I don't remember exactly what it said, but you said the first purchase ever made with Bitcoin happened on the 22nd of May 2010, and back then Bitcoins weren't much money at all, and Laszlo Hanic agreed to pay 10,000 Bitcoins for 2 pizzas.
Yes, that's true, but I was not in the Bitcoin in May of 2010.
Yeah,
there was a story that was going on, right? And I would have loved to been involved in Bitcoin in 2010, or even in 2009 when it first came out. Because hey, I would have mined the snot out of that thing like crazy.
But you know what? $1, that's still pretty good. I mean, like, just look at what $1 gets you right now: 47,000. That's insane. Yeah.
Exactly.
So what were the best and worst investments you've ever made, whether it's with crypto or with anything, like, I don't know, buying a broke down car or anything, you know?
Best and worst investment. Well, the best obviously would have to be Bitcoin, right?
Obviously.
47,000x right now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And the worst investment, well, you know what? Even your worst investment has some value because it gives you an education, right? Worst investment would probably be a name coin. I did throw a lot of time, effort, and money into mining and getting a lot of Namecoin because I didn't think Litecoin was going to do very well. And I thought Namecoin was a better bet. I wish I had mined even a little bit of Litecoin, but I spent a lot of money and time, and I even had a mining pool for Namecoin and Bitcoin. So mining the two. First, I was mining only Namecoin, then I was merge mining that. So yeah, that was a lot of wasted effort because now Namecoin is not even, like, nobody knows what Namecoin is, right?
Yeah, I don't know what Namecoin is. Never heard of it.
Exactly. So yeah, it's long died, and also there's the thing is, right? I was going to sell the top on Namecoin and go into Bitcoin, and I was going to transfer. I was trying to sell a lot of Namecoin, and I was about to transfer it to 200 Bitcoin or something like that at the time. And what happened was the exchange that did the trade between Namecoin and Bitcoin actually had collapsed, and a person who was running it had a hard drive failure and lost all the data. And he had no backups, so it was horrible. So I lost a lot of money there as well. So it was all around one that it was all around that had a lot of things had go wrong with Namecoin, and yeah, it was happened to be the worst investment.
Well, at least at least you have a lot of Bitcoin, so that
Exactly.
worked out for you really well. So what's the best part about being like sort of a famous or a celebrity in the crypto community?
Well, the best part about being a celebrity in the crypto community is people coming to me and saying, "Hey, can I get a picture with you?" And it's like, wow.
Doesn't that get annoying sometimes though? It's just like you want to do your own thing and someone just comes up to you.
Yeah, it's not that bad yet. I mean, like for
Yeah.
example, in I was in Saudi Arabia with this guy who does videos or comedic videos or pranks. His name is Vitali. Everybody knows him, right? And so no matter where we go in the F1, right, he would stop every few meters for pictures. And just sort of got to a point where it was like, okay, just walk with us so you can take the picture, right? So yeah, that was a little bit rough. That was rough.
Yeah, I can not imagine how that must feel. So I'm sure you heard about metaverse. What do you think about metaverse? Will it be as big as people think, and whether it's the metaverse that Meta is pushing forward, or just the metaverse in general? Like, what is your opinion on that? What do you think just about metaverse?
Well, I think it's going to be a new reality for people to explore, and I think it will definitely be as big, not as big as crypto, as Bitcoin or NFTs will be, but it will be important part. NFTs will play a part in that, but at the same time, the metaverse itself will be just as big as probably just a little bit less than Facebook, maybe, or even just as big as Facebook, because it's going to be a whole place where people can go and become somebody they're not. So, and then have things that they can't have in the real world. So, yeah, I think it will eventually get there, but it's a far way off from that particular point. But right now,
we'll see how
there's a lot of competing places, right? So who's going to win? Which universe is going to win, right? Where people are going to go? Well, wherever there's actually someplace where people like to go. That's it.
We have a lot of faith in crypto citizens. But talking about NFTs, where do you see the future of NFT?
Well, NFTs are going to be bigger than just pictures and stuff like that. I see people owning sports events, event moments, right? So, for example, some slam dunk video,
I saw
right,
that.
or something like that.
200,000. That was crazy. Like for a JPEG or video, like when I first heard, I was like, that's crazy. Why would you pay the amount of money? But now I kind of understand it, and I think a lot of people as well.
Yes, prestige for the ownership of that particular piece, and yeah, that's why it's going to be something big. Now, going forward, right, there's going to be other features about NFTs that we haven't even thought of yet, but it's coming.
Yeah, I mean, it's still pretty much like a new thing if you think about it. Like crypto, as you said, it's been around. Bitcoin from what, like 2009? Like that's what, 13 years at this point.
Exactly.
It's literally just 5 or 6 years, maybe. But do you think NFTs will be, or they will get bigger than crypto as like the concept?
No, because whilst NFTs is an aggregate of all things, right? Part of the things that we can purchase, it will not be as big as crypto itself, but because most of the cryptocurrencies are working to be financial products, and finance is like, just to be money. Let's just give you an understanding. Most of your audience would consider that money is something special, but it's not. Yeah. It is just as simple as this headphones, these scissors. It's just a thing, right? It's not anything special, because you do have all these things like these scissors, right, to cut paper, headphones to listen to music, and money is just something that you use to trade with, right?
Mm.
That's all it is. And but the thing about money that makes it seem so special is that it's 50%. All money in the world is 50%. Its value is 50% of all the other assets we have in the world.
Yeah.
Its value equals 50% of all assets that we have.
That's massive.
So imagine if you invent an item like this is not 50% of all our assets.
Yeah,
This is not 50% of value to 50% of all our assets.
Yeah.
So if you invent something, right, like that's called money, and you know what its value could potentially be, which is 50% of all assets. That's pretty hot.
Yeah,
Well,
that's pretty good.
exactly. So NFTs can never achieve that, right?
Mm.
Because not everybody will want NFTs or care for NFTs.
Yeah, but everyone will care about money because
Exactly.
you can't get anywhere without,
Exactly. Because they need to trade.
Yeah, you need to eat and you need to buy the food.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, you when you say you need to eat, buy food, and stuff like that, it's just you have to pull back from the fact that you're thinking you're forced to use money to buy food and stuff like that. No. It's just easier for us to transact with each other, right? If we have money, we don't need to use money, but what's better to have it so that we could transact with one another.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If you look at it that way, instead of something like, oh yeah, you need to have money to buy food and buy rent and stuff like that. No, you can go to an island. I could drop you on an island, right? And tell you, hey, survive, right? And what do you have to do, right? You have to survive on the island, right? And you have to build a shelter. You have to get your own food, and money's useless, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's nothing.
Right? So it's just a way it becomes useful when there's somebody else around or other people around, so that you could actually, trade and balance out the work.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you believe that Bitcoin could ever hit the $1 million milestone?
Yeah, probably and beyond, but by then it probably won't matter because you won't be measuring it in dollars because it'd be irrelevant to do so.
Oh yeah, or we won't be alive anymore.
What? No,
Yeah.
It won't be irrelevant to do so because it'll be like, okay, well, everybody's using Bitcoin as money.
Yeah, the value will be bigger.
Why would you bother measuring it in dollars?
Yeah, like what is that? It's just.
Yeah.
So what are your favorite cryptocurrencies, except for Bitcoin, obviously?
Well, the next one is Ethereum, of course. Ethereum, right, provides complex applications, right, in finance that you can't do with Bitcoin, right? Which by design, but Satoshi actually took it out by design, because at first he did put in everything that Ethereum can do, but then he realized that the key problem was it had to be updated all the time, because there was no guarantee that a Turing complete language would not have a bug. It was actually practically guaranteed that it will have an issue that would cause it to break the system, and so that he never thought of, so that he took out those features out, so that Bitcoin is not Turing complete, meaning that you can't run an application where you don't know what the end result is, right? You do right now. Bitcoin does have programmability, but you can always know what the end result is going to be because it's only one or two results, yes or no, and that's it. And just based on what somebody wants, what's supposed to happen in the future, or what somebody has to know, right? Information that somebody has to know, or something like that, in order to get the whole script to execute. So it's yes or no, and the script runs one linear fashion and can't loop back. You can't go and check things. No, it's straight through, yes or no, and that's it.
So Ethereum
is a little bit more complicated. That was Bitcoin. Ethereum is a little bit more complicated.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
allows for loops, rechecking, um, and all kinds of other complicated things that Turing complete language would allow. Um, but unfortunately, they have to always update all the clients, and if they
Mm,
have to update all the clients, they are not exactly decentralized fully.
mhm.
Meaning that the government could point a gun and say, "Hey, everybody's going to upgrade to this because we said so."
Yeah.
Right?
So it's
Well,
not so it's not that stable, basically.
it's stable. It's not decentralized.
Mhm.
Right? There's a difference. Right? The difference between a decentralized system and a centralized one is that centralized one, meaning the government can point a gun at somebody and say, "Change it. We don't
Mm,
like it," and
yeah.
you're going to do it, or you're going to
Because
die.
you don't have a choice. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Whilst a decentralized system, they can't. There's nobody pointing a gun at.
Mm,
They can't change it.
yeah.
You have to convince the masses to change it, and they're not going to can be convinced. And even if they convince a percentage of the masses to change, what happens is Bitcoin still exists. It just gets forked. There's two
Mhm.
versions of it: the government coin, right, and the real one. Right? That's the best they can do, right? And
Mhm.
and eventually people will realize, oh shoot, the government coin sucks, and go back to the real one.
Yeah. So that's why it's decentralized. Because
Exactly.
yeah. Oh, that's amazing. So this one last question is just like I think it's a little more complex. You don't have to go like full into detail because I mean you have a YouTube channel where you explain literally everything. But do you have any final advice for our readers? I mean, our people watching this video on how to navigate in this fast changing NFT/crypto world?
Well, I mean, there's a different advice for different groups of people,
Yeah.
right? Because of course, if you're older, I would suggest you stick with Bitcoin,
Mhm.
right, and Ethereum, and maybe even Binance Coin, because those things are established and you know where they're going, and they're not going to be going away. Um, but if you're younger audience, you can gamble a little bit. You can get into different projects that at the very beginning, right, and
Mm.
see what happens, because I mean there's a lot of money to be made in this space because it's all being transferred from New York and this all the central hubs of finance to
Mhm.
this to crypto, and they can huff and puff all they want. The banks, the brokerage houses, the
Mhm.
governments, it doesn't matter. It's coming here, right? And you, as a young person, you could take the risk
Mm.
of getting into something that will do well, and it might not. It might turn into garbage. It might do extremely well. So it's worthwhile the risk to get into something new and cool, and because a lot of money, a lot of financial money is coming beyond your imagination. So I always meet people here in Dubai that say, Da Vinci, you know what? You have made me a multimillionaire, right? Thank you very much for all your videos and everything you do
Mhm.
many, many times here in Dubai, because this is where money, where finance is coming to, because the old system sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks rocks. It's too slow, right?
Mm.
And
Too much bureaucracy. Yeah.
it's corrupt, and it causes, and then you have to pay a bunch of fees and stuff like that in order to use the old system.
Mm.
Whilst the fees are a lot lower in the newer system, right? Yes, you can say, "Whoa, Ethereum's gas fees are so high." Okay, enough. That's getting fixed, right? 2.8, when 2.8 comes out, we don't have to hear that noise anymore. Okay, and so same with Bitcoin. Once the Lightning Network or some other second layer comes into play, it's not a problem, right? And I say that because people don't realize that when electricity was first invented, the first thing they did was they lit up the Eiffel Tower, right, to show off what electricity could do, and they said that was fad, toy for rich people, it's garbage, could burn down your whole house, all kinds of things, and you can't even get electricity to DC, because they were using DC at the time, direct current to your house, because you need a pipe the size of a bus. I mean, a metal cable the size of a bus in order to get it there. So there was a whole bunch of problems with electricity when it was first invented that were all solved along the way, because it was way better to use than anything we were using before. The same principle applies with Bitcoin. You can complain about all the things that Bitcoin has or Ethereum has. They're all going to get fixed. It's all going to go away. It's going to be 1,000 times better. And yeah, you can't look at what's happening right now. You have to look further out into the future. This is what I saw when I first saw Bitcoin. I looked further out in the future, not what it was at the exact moment.
So like the usability, convenience will make it work eventually, because
Exactly.
it's just better. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what if I was like a person, let's say I have $1,000 on me right now, and with your experience, what would you tell me, like, where should I invest this money right now?
Wow.
Here.
Yeah. Well, I'd find a cool project that would that you could envision, have a vision that will do well into the future. It's really difficult to see those things, right? And find them, those projects. I know it is. It's not an easy thing, right? But it's worthwhile because you'll have a bigger upside, and you could always, as a young person, make another $1,000 quickly, and find another project should that fail, right? Not the end of the world, but hey, you know what? It's worth the risk, because you can see multiples into that $1,000 turn into anywhere from million to hundreds of millions really fast in this financial industry.
Yeah. I think that's all when it comes to questions. But yeah, thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. It was awesome having you here. Very enlightening. And to all of you guys, thanks for watching, and make sure you stay tuned, as we're planning to do more interviews in the near future.
Cheers. Thanks for having me.